Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Janaya K here, and today's video is going to be a little different. No beauty, no makeup, no healthy eating. We're going to do a true crime story today, guys. Okay, so buckle in your seatbelts. Little disclaimer: if you're under 18 or if crime just isn't your zhuzh, go ahead and click off this video. But if you're a true crime junkie like me, stay tuned. So today we're going to be talking about John Norman Collins. John was born on June 17, 1947. He was born in Windsor, Canada, to his mother and father, and he was born the youngest of 3 children. So unfortunately, his mother and father's relationship or marriage only lasted 1 year, and then they were divorced. After the divorce, the family moved from Canada to Detroit, where his mother married her second husband, which is John's stepfather. And his last name was actually Collins, so he adopted 3 children, and then they all took his last name, giving John the last name Collins. Unfortunately, this marriage also didn't last long because his stepfather was an alcoholic and he was also abusive, just like his father. On one occasion, his stepfather threw him across the car at his mother when he was a very small child. And on another occasion, his stepfather used him as a shield against an armed man. So despite his difficult upbringing, John graduated high school in 1965. He graduated from St. Clement High School. He was an honor student. He was a star pitcher on the baseball team. He was a football captain. So he had a pretty good high school experience, to say the least. So in 1965, John enrolled into Eastern Michigan University, and his major was education. He was also inducted into the Phi Theta Kappa fraternity, and he was later kicked out because he was stealing. So John was a little kleptomaniac. He had sticky fingers, so he was taking everybody's stuff and everything was going missing, and they were like, "Where's my stuff?" And they were like, our stuff didn't go missing until John came into the picture. So they figured out it was John and they gave him the boot. So entering into his sophomore year of college, John's grades continued to plummet, and he continued to steal. So he didn't let go of his thieving ways even after he got booted out of the fraternity. One day while John was in school, he came home and he found his sister with a man. So he beat her because she was with a man. He beat her within inches of death. I'm not really sure why. I just think he didn't want her to be with anyone, so weird, but it's okay. So John is in college. He's failing terribly. He's stealing. His motivation is decreasing significantly. And he decides, I want a new hobby. Stealing just isn't risky enough for me. His first victim was Mary Flezar. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but Mary Flezar. So she disappeared on July 18th of 1967, and her body was found on August 7th, 1967. Right before Mary went missing, she was approached by a man in a blue-gray vehicle, like a Chevy, and that was the last time she was seen alive. She was found in a field 2 miles north of Ypsilanti, which is where that's where EMU is located in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and she was stabbed 30 to 40 times. Mary was found by 2 teenage boys in a field. She was missing her forearm, her thumb, her fingers, her ankle. Now, the weird thing is, a man came into the funeral home just a few days after Mary was found, and he said that he wanted to take a picture of her, which I would have thought was very odd, but the funeral director just told him to leave, and they didn't call the police or do much of anything else. So John's next victim was Joan Shell. She was a 20-year-old student, and she was hitchhiking from Ypsilanti to Ann Arbor to see her boyfriend. Joan disappeared on July 2nd of 1968, and her body was found on July 7th, 1968. Joan was found on a construction site in Ypsilanti. She was badly beaten. Joan was raped, stabbed, and she had her skirt tied around her neck, so she died from strangulation. So John's next supposed victim was Eileen Adams. She was a 13-year-old child that was kidnapped on December 13th, 1967, and her body was found in January 1968. Eileen was found in South Ypsilanti. She was raped, strangled with an electrical cord, and her bra was around her neck. Eileen was stuffed into a sack, beaten with a hammer, and she had a 3-inch nail in her skull. Now, there was no evidence of sexual assault with Eileen, and she was also missing her shoes. John's next victim was 16-year-old Marilyn Skelton. She disappeared on March 21st, 1969, and her body was found March 25th, 1969. Marilyn was hitchhiking before her death, and ironically, she was found in the same construction site as Joan. Marilyn was found severely beaten with a piece of her shirt in her throat, and she had been sodomized with a tree branch. 13-year-old Dawn Basom was John's next victim. She disappeared on April 14, 1967, when she was walking home from a friend's house, and her body was later found just the next day on April 15, 1969. Now, Dawn was found on the side of the road in Ypsilanti. She was raped, beaten, strangled. Her body was severely mutilated, and her breasts, butt, and stomach were severely mutilated as well. Alice Collum, John's next victim, was seen going on a date with John, and she was also seen at a party the night before her death. She disappeared on June 8th, 1969, and she was found on June 9th, 1969 as well. So Alice was found near a farmhouse by 3 boys. She was shot in the head, raped, stabbed, and her throat was cut. So this next victim was in California, not in Michigan. And as the story goes, John took a trip to California to visit a friend, and around the same time, Roxy Phillips was found. So 17-year-old Roxy disappeared on June 30th, 1969, and she was found on July 13th, 1969. She was found in Pescadero Canyon by 2 boys. She was nude except for her sandals, and she had a red and white belt tied around her neck. Now, John's alleged 8th and final victim, Karen Sue Bindman. She was 18-year-old, and she was seen getting on the back of John's motorbike when she exited a store one night. She disappeared on July 23rd of 1969, and she was found on July 27th of 1969. Karen was found in a wooded area by a doctor and his wife. She was raped, beaten, strangled. She had underwear in her mouth. She had semen in her vagina with blonde hair as well. So since Karen was seen leaving the store with John, he was arrested for her murder once her body was found. He was arrested on July 31st of 1969, and his trial began on June 30th of 1970. John was convicted of Karen's murder on August 19th of 1970. He received life without parole. There was a few questions about whether John had committed all the crimes, and due to DNA evidence being able to be tested, later they found that he did not kill Eileen Adams. Due to DNA evidence, Robert Bowman was convicted of her murder. And another supposed victim of John Norman Collins was Jane Louise Mixer, but Gary Lederman was convicted of her murder later on as well. So since John has been locked up, he applied to be transferred to a Canada prison, but it was denied, of course. So he's currently residing in Marquette Branch Prison in Michigan, still serving his life sentence. He is currently, I believe, 73 right now, so he doesn't have that much longer to go. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have anything that I may have left out, go ahead, drop that in the comments too. Feel free to correct the sis, because I'm not perfect, so I try my best. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I know this is not the best video to see, but If you're interested in true crime, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.